The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Wyatt.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Age is in the building now.
Let's go. Strap in. This one's for the fighter.
I took the oath. 20 years I gave my soul. Sandstorms, fire, a roadside blast. Everything I knew shattered fast.
You haven't seen nothing yet. Woo!
Drowning in turmoil, 15 meds, mine in a haze. Living felt like a permanent death. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. Voice of the broken, thunder in my chest with the freedom fighters rising from the wreck. Parents pulled me from the edge of night, pushed me forward back into the light. Ski boots on, carving through pain. Found my fire on that frozen terrain. Said I was too old to beat the race, so I trained like hell, put them in their place. From slurred words to a podium stand, yeah, I'm racing with lightning in my hand. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. From Kokomo to Olympic slopes, we're the freedom fighters born to cope. Now I take the mic, not a rifle. Broadcast truth, yeah, that's survival. Paralyzed, but still I lead. With every word we plant a seed. Still standing, warriors loud. Can't break us, we screaming proud. Not wounded, we're on the attack. Freedom fighters, and we're taking it back. Freedom fighters, yeah. Keep rising.
Freedom Fighters.
Now I'm rising to the top.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time. It is Throwback Thursday.
Streets to the stage, it's a journey, it's a fight. Every night, every day, gotta keep my goals in sight. No pain, no.
All right, welcome, everybody.
Good morning,
Good morning, Colorado and Pennsylvania.
Ulster. Like
Hey,
the
everybody.
Holstein Ulsters.
We got a pretty good show for you today. You know, we're gonna try some different stuff. In fact, I had some people reach out.
Woohoo!
Look at that. That actually works. We had some people reach out and they're like, you know, H, really like your show, but you know, you're kind of a carbon copy of Tosh.0. If I wanted to watch videos, I watch TikTok. Okay, granted. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try something new. We're gonna still do like the video intro thing, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna read off topics of, you know, things that are in the news, you know, things that might have updated, things that you might not even heard of. When I was talking to MJ this morning, I was giving her kind of the rundown of what we was going to be talking about, and you know, there was actually a couple of things that I was saying, and MJ's like, "Oh, I haven't heard about that. I don't know what that is." So, you know, first things first, what we're going to do, we don't really have a video, but we're going to do mail call.
Aren't we on to
Attention, mail call.
Hartman.
Jackson. Ramirez. Hartman. Hartman. Here's what we do.
All right, so check this out. We was gonna have her on the air today because, she's having this event here in Denver, Colorado, this Crime Con, and she has a bunch of papers talking about in letters and stuff, talking about Gypsy Rose, and I just wanted to spotlight Amber Dietz from Into the Weeds. She has been an incredible supporter of MBR, her and her husband. And I'll just say Charles, I won't say the last name. And I wanted to really, really encourage everybody, if you're in the area and you want to look at a very up and becoming journalist, you can totally come and meet her. She is definitely an upcoming journalist because, I remember when she reached out when she first started with MBR, and she wanted to do something with, it was like in Vigia's games. I can't pronounce it. It was something about that. And, I'm like,
yeah. Denver on the 5th, right?
Yeah, she's going to be here on Denver on the 5th. And it will be the first time that I get to meet Alora.
Ah.
So, but she was on the Slacker, and what used to be called the Slacker and Steve show. Now it's just Slacker. It's a show that airs on here at Denver, kind of in the evening time. It's a very popular show. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like the show of Denver. It's like Ellen or Oprah. I mean, it's a very key show. So we want to say congratulations for her landing on that, and we look forward to seeing her here in Denver, because it's been a while since she's been here. Last time she was here, she bought us a mixer. Hold on a second. I forgot I hooked that up. Last time she was here, she bought us a mixer. Maybe while she's here, she'll buy us a studio. We don't know. I'm teasing.
Throw the money bags. Yes.
But I just wanted to spotlight, because she's doing a tremendous job. She's definitely one of the first veterans usually that comes in and likes things, and she does a lot of work. She teaches the veterans when I can't make it there. She does a lot of things, and she is definitely one of the parts of the backbone of MBR. And not only do we want to say thank you because she's on the board as well, we just want to spotlight her and let everybody know about her. So with that being said, we still have some time. So I'm going to tell you what we're kind of going to go over today. We won't talk about, but we'll kind of go over. So things that are in the news that we really need to talk about is the number one thing is we're going to be talking about the Roger Jackson incident, son of Quentin Rampage Jackson. That fallout has started a number of things, like WWE wrestling has cut off its arm between them, because what it is it's these little farm teams. That's what I call them. It's little farm teams, and these farm teams, they go to like NXT and then WWE. Okay, and this incident, this might set the farm teams back a little. And when we get to that point, I'll explain more. Also, I'm not going to announce the shooter's name, but we're going to talk about it. We can yell, we can say thoughts and prayers, but as you can see, there was a Minnesota shooting yesterday in an Auctions Catholic school shooting, and they were praying, they were singing, they were serving the Lord, and they still got shot down. So the prayers and thoughts, it's not working anymore. And I don't need to I mean, I don't need to yell. You know, for good 20 minutes on the media news, I saw their mayor yelling at people like, "Hey, this shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that." Okay, well, it shouldn't be like that. But see, you guys are more worried about the guns rather than policing up the mental illness. And when when you're talking about mental illness, that means bullying too. And it starts at home. It starts with the parents. People who bully are taught by their parents who bullied in high school. But we'll get through that. We'll get more through that. Okay. Then we have the Federal Reserve under fire, and that's going to be pretty much like I think maybe drop the mic or whatever. You know, that's we'll definitely talk about. We're gonna talk about how that comes into play. Then we're going to talk about the Crackle Barrel reverses course on logo. Was it a different strategy, or was it a publicity stunt because they were lacking business in the first place? Regardless, whenever anybody makes changes or stuff, usually that's what happens. They never put a stop sign at a four-way until somebody dies, unfortunately. So we'll talk about that as well. Also, there's also baby Emmanuel, the baby that was reported being stolen because the mother was knocked out. We've got more details about that, and they're not good. And then we're going to get down and crazy and talk about this thing called a college cat pudge. It goes viral. What is it? I have no idea, but we're going to find that out together in this episode of the H Train Show, where here we're showing our veterans and our men and women all over the world that there are more programs outside the VA. My name's H Train, and my beautiful co-host is back in the sack, MJ.
Dude, I have to tell you, I have a lot of flip patterns for some of those subjects. And the first one is mail call. Listen here, Mr. If I wanted to see TikTok, well, you got the best of both worlds because we are live on TikTok. So I don't know your mail call because we are on TikTok. So that means we have to play the videos with the TikTok thing, right?
Right.
So I'm flipping that one. So there's your mail call. I'm going to flip it. And yeah, when you said prayer don't work, I'm like, no, prayer does work. They were praying for Labor Day. They weren't praying for salvation. How did they know they weren't praying for salvation at that moment? So I'm going to flip that. I'm going to flip the other guy. What the other one you said?
Well, you don't need to flip them. You don't need to.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm going to balance.
Well, we want to know about you, MJ. You know, it's been a while since you've been back. Come on.
It's cold. It's cold up here.
I know, right?
39.
I got up this morning. Yesterday to go to the studio, and I'm like, well, shit. Now it's dark. You know, it's pitch black dark. God, I hate daylight savings time. But you know, that has nothing to do with daylight savings time. That has to do with it's getting dark early.
As the earth spins, baby.
Yep. It's winter time. It's winter time.
Ooh, bewitching time. I love the fall.
Yeah. It's winter time, and I'll be
it was 39. I woke up and I call it black gold in my pastures this morning, which means my neighbor's head of Angus got out. So I was picking up scat all over my driveway because my black golds were in my persona. But however, my alarms around my house went off from 2 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the morning. So MJ's a sleepy dog. Because we had fox and coyote around, because we have perimeters around the house. Then we have the wood area. We have cameras, but the ones around the house alerts us in case any of our beautiful wild friends like to come in. So yeah, we had some fox and coyotes around the house that kept setting off our alarms. So that was fun. And then we had the black Angus. So maybe the coyotes were chasing the Angus. I don't know. But it was quite the morning between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock this morning at 39 stinking degrees out. that I was not ready. I did not go to bed in that attire due to it was like only 58 when I went to bed. So,
hey, good morning, Tracy Rounds. You make number 50. We have 50 views on social media and 100 and some on Roku right now. And, you know, it's 9 in the morning.
that's
Why
because
are
they
you
want to
guys
know about
doing
scat
that?
my driveway, man.
Oh, man.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful crisp morning. The apples are shining, the pears are shining. It's almost time to harvest those. So it is just a beautiful, positive way up here. It's, you know, enough to catch your breath and make your eyes wide awake without coffee, and know that we are evolving into a new change, right? Into the fall equinox is coming very soon. And it's cider time, baby, whether you like it spiked or not.
Now, before we go on our fierce music break, the last words I will say is we want to give a huge shout out to some of our sponsors, Dunkin' Donuts and Jersey Mike's. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you how they're sponsoring. They're not just sponsoring by feeding their troops when they do these shows here in Colorado. No. Yesterday I submitted a document to Jersey Mike's. You know, it's not me, has nothing to do with me. The only thing that I'm doing is kind of like sharing the information. But as if everything works out well, this Thanksgiving on Buckley Air Force and Space, I don't even know how to say it anymore. But anyways, on Buckley Base, MBR will be sending some veterans over there, and we will be serving Thanksgiving Jersey Mike sandwiches to them on the day of Thanksgiving. And why are we doing that? Because a lot of people forget that mostly military people, they don't have family. Some of them are foster kids. Some of them are adopted. Some of them don't have a pot to piss in. So that's the reason why they join the military. And usually when the military kind of closes down for Thanksgiving and Christmas, what happens to the chow halls? They close down all the chow halls and they open this one that's like 16 miles away, it seems like. Ooh. And especially if you don't have a vehicle and you're single in the barracks and you can't make it to the chow hall, instead of Ubering or, you know, whatever you want to call it, they can come to the church and they can sit there and they can eat with veterans that are in the same boat as they. And as the day progresses, those veterans that are on the other side of the thing, well, MBR will be taking the Tahoe and we will be busing them back and forth the whole day to make sure that all those veterans get fed Thanksgiving deal. It's just something to show and prove that Military Broadcast Radio isn't just a radio station. We are here for you, not for us. We are literally giving veterans a voice. So with that being said, we're going to go on a music break. And when we come back off that music break, we're going to get into the what the, and you know, MJ, if you can find the video that Raja Jackson, we'll definitely play it, or you can see what we're talking about, so that when we get ready to talk about it, you'll have more context. So with that being said, we're gonna go on a music break, and when we come back, I'll tell you right now, we're probably talking Raja Jackson. How is this incident going to affect the wrestling world going forward? Up next, you're listening to the Ace Train Show right here on the station that's letting be heard.
Every tear got so much more to give. No pain, no gain. We rise above the flames, through the fire, through the rain. We embrace the change. No pain, no gain. We conquer every chain. With the struggle comes the strength. We will never be the same.
Can you see by the dawn's early light trembling. The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land under the fray? You're the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land under the fray? And the home of the
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back.
Are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at
Looking
mbradio.com.
back at the past, all the lessons that I learned, every fall, every loss was a bridge that I burned. Now I'm stronger, now I'm wiser, got the fire in my soul. Every step, every breath, getting closer to my goal. Haters
Oh boy. Yeah, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the A Train Show right here on the station that is letting our veterans be heard. That is MBR Talk. All right. So you know what? Hey, since you love the ducks so much, and I'm going to make a bumper just for your show with the duck. You're gonna help me. You're gonna kind of like write me a script or what? I don't know how
You
would
might have to have a mask on his beak to shut him up, covering his eyes, covering his ears.
you want him in a straitjacket?
Speak no, hear no, see no. I even have duck feet growing out of my bosoms.
Hey, me too. Me too.
It's a phenomena.
It's a family
Phenomena.
affair. It's a family affair.
Phenomena.
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 Oh my gosh, I love the Muppets.
Me
Phenomena.
too.
Phenomena.
Phenomena.
I think my favorite Muppet is Swedish Chef.
I like Beaker. I don't know. I like Beaker.
I
also
do
like
too.
Gonzo.
I do too, but I tell you what, if I have to tell Chat GPT, wrong Beaker, mother, I'm gonna get pissed.
So I want the Beaker with animal, right?
It's too easy. Beaker with the is EA, like a beaker. Beaker, BE, especially when I put broadcast and then they put a hands mic on them. It's like, come on, man.
Dude, I have to tell you a story. Now, I told you, I live on top of this mountain, and 8 different ways to come off the mountain are 8 little towns.
Right.
My little town in itself has a whopping 800 people, so they say. However, when you add them all together, I don't think there's more than maybe 8,000 people in all this. So I'm living very rural these days. And it's so funny because I happened to see this Rubicon when I had my little ducks. I stuck in the door, and they moved all their ducks off, and they have him the middle because he's the biggest, and they have all these little tiny ducks. And every time you go now to the pharmacy, you see the duck. Well, the other day, I don't know where I was. Oh, I was at a market, and I happened to be I had one duck, and I happened to be towing my cart with this one duck.
Okay.
And the lady goes, "Oh my God, there's that duck." She goes, "May I have one of your ducks?" I go, "I don't have any ducks." And I forgot I had put the duck in the back of the wagon. Like I kind of squeezed him in there when I was at the fair last year.
MBR ducks?
Yeah. So now I have the Rubicon families who want these ducks. So I need more ducks in this beautiful 8,000 people.
We'll work on it, and that's okay, because I tell you what, I was planning on sending you like a secret teller, because every time I send you some, remember, it costs a lot of money. There's no getting past that. Yeah, and damn, do you live in Tickbook too? One place is 15, and then it's like 30 of the other. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm going to try to do the if it fits ships thing, and what
if you do FedEx or UPS, it's cheaper than USPS.
Okay, maybe
and it's
I'll
all
try
the same
that.
chick who delivers it. She has like this little Ranger with a hubcap or a little camper thing on the back, like one of those little old timer things. And she I don't know how she does it. God love her. Name's Dawn, but she sits in the middle of that little truck of hers, and she drives like this, and she reaches out on this side.
That's old style mail. That's like Funny Farm mail. Remember that?
Goes, "I am your Amazon, UPS, and FedEx delivery." So why it costs more for the United States Post Office to deliver than all those other ones, I have no idea.
Oh man. Well, hey, I tell you what. Before we get off topic too much, there was one thing I was going to say before we.
Roger, you asked me to look at Roger. I tried.
No. So, all right. So, here we go.
Okay.
They're cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
I mean, what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No.
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
All right. So, like I said, I didn't have the video or anything, but because she MJ hasn't seen this, I'm just gonna play a very, very small clip on it. Okay. And then when I play this very small clip, just know that, the reason why we're here, hold on a second. Let me grab this to where it needs to be. This is, here we go. I'll just do this. I just didn't get the clip because I got yelled at for it. What can I say? All right, here we go.
You might have to add it to the stage there.
Oh.
Start it again.
Okay, my bad, guys. My bad. Beginner issues. What can I say? All right, here we go.
MMA fighter Raja Jackson is reportedly being investigated by the LAPD after appearing to beat his opponent unconscious during a live-streamed wrestling match. Video shows Jackson being accosted by other fighters during the event at KnockX Pro Academy in Sun Valley Saturday night. Jackson's father, former UFC champ Rampage Jackson, apologized on social media on behalf of his son and said he was, quote, very upset about the incident. TMZ reports the other fighter regained consciousness and is recovering in the hospital.
All right, so that is that situation. All right, so let's talk about it. All right, everybody knows that wrestling is scripted. It's not fake because they still get hurt. Basically, when you think of wrestling, you have to understand it's kind of like Banana Ball, or it's kind of like Harlem Globetrotters. It's real, but it's scripted. Will they win? Will they don't? They already know who's going to win. Okay, so we have that already aspect of it. Now, when the scene started before the event even started. I believe it started like the day before, and the guy who is I forget his name. It's like Stu something, but he had a full can. I don't know if it was Coke. I don't know what. It doesn't matter. It was a full can full of liquid that hadn't been opened. So that's already like a weapon, and that shit does not feel good. You can hit somebody with it. That'll hurt somebody. So what he did was he smashed against his head because I think he thought that they were working a clip. Well, we'll call it a clip, okay? We're working the scene. But they wasn't working the scene. And then afterwards, he goes over and he says to the guy, he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." And he's like, No, dude, I don't play that shit. I don't play that shit, It was kind of like in kindergarten. They never handshaked after, okay? So even though this guy didn't attack this guy, they still left unbalanced, as you would say, MJ, okay? They still left unbalanced. So then the next day they had an event. And in wrestling, there's this thing called receipts. So if you mess up an event, or you mess up a move, or, how do they do it in play? Like if you miss a line, or if you ad lib or something, and it hurts, you hurt somebody, you get a receipt. Okay. Kind of like all right, you hit me, now we're even, dude, kind of thing. All right. So the guy said to him before, "Hey, we got this. You got a receipt, blah, blah, blah." Okay. So it's in play, this script. Now, this guy in the ring, he has no clue this is coming. You can just tell it. All right. So the guy jumps in during a match. He grabs him from his feet, puts him over his shoulder, and slams him to the mat where his head bounces off. And as a wrestler, not even as a wrestler, as a person, when we're kids, when it's roughhousing and when it's not roughhousing. You know that. You know how hard it takes somebody down. But in this life, there are people, because my mom used to tell me all the time, "Joel, you don't know your own strength." Sometimes there are people that don't know their own strength. Some people, especially in a good example is alcohol. Some people drink and they don't know when to stop. Some people drink and they don't know when a good time is to pause. That's just how it is. And I believe there's some people that are like that when it comes to fighting. And this individual I stereotype him in that same position. All right. So what do I say? He definitely made a mistake. This wrestler is now in the hospital, intensive care, all that, all that stuff. Okay. Now, this is where it comes shitty, because he is the here, let me look up his name again. Where is it? Hold on. I'm messing up already. So the story is what happened at a recent Knox X Pro Wrestling event in Los Angeles. And I believe that if you know who Rikishi is, he's a former wrestler of WWE, WWF. He owns like a promo thing. A promo thing is the same thing as a farm team, basically. And Roger Jackson was unexpectedly attacked by professional wrestler Stuart Psycho Stu Smith in the ring. Now, keep in mind, he is also a military veteran, past veteran. Uses wrestling as PTSD as an outlet. Imagine that. Although initially presented as a script moment, the assault turned real. Jackson slammed Smith, as you saw in the video, who was unconscious and delivered over 20 punches. The attack was live streamed. The LAPD has now launched an investigation. Jackson has been banned from future shows. Smith is in stable condition. After hospitalization, Jackson's father, Rampage, condemned the incident, noting his son had suffered a concussion and shouldn't have been in the ring. Well, if we knew that he shouldn't have been in the ring, bro, we wouldn't have had him do a receipt. It's like I get it, it's your son, but you can't condone your son just because it's your son. You can't. I mean, you got to be a proper father. He messed up. He went in there. He had that chance to stop when he saw the opponent's head hit the mat like he did. Especially since he's training to be a wrestler. His father is a UFC. I guess he's a big time UFC fighter.
Which one's the military?
Huh?
Which one was the military vet?
Psycho Stu, the one that got injured.
The one that got injured.
The one that got injured, yes. Yes. And, this is his actions, because it might get a slap on the wrist, in the future. But right now, his actions has affected these farm teams, especially this Knox X Pro, because they have cut ties. WWE has cut ties with them while this investigation is going on. Look, WWE has had some shit investigations in the last 2 years, so you can't blame them for cutting ties with them during this time. They've got enough bad publicity going on.
So let's talk about that, WWE. Yeah. I understand it's scripted, but I also understand it's another way of showing violence, a form of seeing red danger, a form of seeing a traumatized event. And people who do participate or watch has an accelerated testosterone, because that's more of a test. Even women who go have a higher testosterone to watch a physical, all those, the box, any type form of ringed violence, including Greco wrestling, is a form of a higher testosterone range. It is also a form of a way for people who are trying to deal with anger managements to watch. If you ever notice, there's a lot of people who see red, and people who are angered, PTSD, vets or service to others, they see red. They get to anger management and they see nothing but red. And that is a lot of these wrestlers, these people who get put in the ring. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, you ever go to bull riding and they put the pinchers underneath the bull's hips, right? They put the little pins. Well, of course they're going to jump around because it hurts. So, here we go again, where these wrestlers, these people who perform these acts, if that person got into a red zone, it's an unconsciousness. Did you know that?
Right. And that's what I mean by
maybe this he didn't have that. Right.
With this incident, it's going to affect.
It's plausible he saw red. If they can prove that he has anger.
Well, I'm sure they're going to, MJ, but that's not even the point. The point is his actions in this incident. Like, I bet there's like 25 or 26 independent companies that do this. That do the amateur wrestling. They teach it to go to WWE. Kind of like there's a bunch of MBR radio stations that are here to teach you how to broadcasting. And then after you get done here, that you have that opportunity to go out and mainstream and be a part of a business. You get that chance. Holly's got that chance. Jimmy Cover's got that chance. A lot of people has gotten that chance.
Yeah, I look at it like we are no different than the gladiators at this point.
Right. And the thing is like before WWE created NXT, and NXT is kind of like a farm team. Okay. And what they were doing was they were kind of connecting all these different teams, all these farm teams, right, to NXT towards the people that wanted to do WWE.
Right.
And
like double A ball.
Yeah, exactly. And because of this incident, I think that they have lost the privilege of not just them, but all the farm teams, everything that, and I don't know if it was Vince McMahon or if it was Triple H. I don't know who did it, but whoever did it, all that progressive working, all that setup, all that rotation, I think has been messed up in less than 30 seconds because of this incident. That's what I'm talking about. We already know that, he's going to be charged for something. We already know that this isn't going away. We already know that his stuff is affected. That we already know. But what we don't know is how is it going to affect other people going forward? How is it going to affect all these farm teams? And is there going to be a lawsuit because of it? Because, just because there's like cut ties, whoever started, how many contracts did he affect?
It only takes one. It only takes one to break the back.
Exactly. Now, before we go into like the drop the mic and stuff, another thing that we're going to cover on the what the is another thing that I want to talk about is the baby Emmanuel. Baby Emmanuel. I don't know if you've heard the story, everybody, but baby Emmanuel, in California, authorities investigating the disappearance. Hold on. There. Okay. Disappearance of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. He has a long indications regarding the location of his remains. Travis late reports and prosecutors reveal that Emmanuel likely died from a prolonged abuse, succumbed of his injuries, rather than being kidnapped. At previous claim by his parents, both parents, Jake and Rebecca Harrow. They have been charged with murder and they're making false police report. Child's body is still not recovered and their arraignment is scheduled for September 4th. Now, let me get into this real quick. So yesterday, they had the video showing that they took the father out to the field to recover this body. Is the guy playing us? What's the guy doing? There's no body. There's nobody. In fact, while they were doing that, it was being reported that some TikTok influence, they didn't mention who, some TikTok influencers, since they was arrested and sent out, they had broken into the house and they were selling tickets of giving everybody a tour of the house and what was going on, because when they came into that house looking for baby Emmanuel, the shocking thing that they found, MJ, was all the pictures of the baby were gone. There was no pictures at all in the house. There were no baby clothes. It was almost like they erased him from this world. It's almost as if, okay, I dropped the baby, shaken syndrome, whatever you want to call it. He's all screwed up. Oh, we don't have enough money to take him to the hospital. We can't afford to get him fixed. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to bury him because he's going to die anyways because we can't afford it. That's what it looks like. So, and the family has already mentioned that baby Emmanuel has not been seen for over a month. And this, people, this right here is the reason why you reach out to your people and you check on them. Okay? Because so this stuff doesn't happen. So that's the other story I was just going to quickly cover. They said the police went in there and they found blood, and it was so bad that they took apart floor panels because there was blood caked under it. So this murder, or whatever you want to call it, it didn't happen too long ago because the blood was still somewhat fresh. It was still somewhat dark. So I don't know what they're trying to do. I think what he's trying to do is take them on a wild goose chase so that he can plead insanity. He has prior convictions, MJ, for doing stuff to kids before this. That's what makes this crazy, you know? That's what makes this crazy. And
where's the neighbors? Where are the family, friends, and neighbors that didn't speak out, that didn't ask DCF for help, that didn't? And I understand, because they're like, oh, a lot of good does too, because and it is true. A child actually has to become injured for DCF normally to get off their ass.
Well, you know, and
it can't even be perspective or retrospect or, you know, suggestion. Yeah.
Well, and remember, they don't put a stop sign at a 4-way stop because they just bought it or they just made the highway. All right. It takes somebody dying. It just does. It takes somebody dying to say, okay, we need, it's almost like to get a solution, there has to be a reaction.
Right.
There has to be. Okay, so with that being said, the last thing that I just want to really cover quickly, it's a question, and then we'll go to, we're going to do a drop the mic, because I'm going to ask you a question, MJ, and you're going to answer it the best of your ability. Okay. And that is what I mean by, it is that time, everybody. It is dropping the mic.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do, which is just flip out. Hey, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Let's go.
All right. So, dropping the mic, I'm going to read to you what the story is. I'm going to tell you my idea and what I think, and then I'm going to ask you a simple question, and then you can take it, and then we have to go on break at the top of the hour. Just remember that, MJ, because I know sometimes we both go off rails sometimes. All right, here we go. So the story is, the Federal Reserve is on fire. Contacts President Trump has attempted to remove federal governor Lisa Cook, an unprecedented move in U.S. history, which has sparked widespread debate about the erosion of Federal Reserve independence. Cook has vowed to fight their dismissal, and analysts are warning that this could have a long-term negative effects on the market, confidence, and inflation control. Simultaneously, former UK Prime Minister Liz Truss has publicly backed Trump's challenge against the Fed, calling for the democratic control over central banks. While several economics warn of serious global economics consequences. Well, first of all, let me address this. When it says several economics warn of serious global economic consequences, that reminds me of Y2K. All right, so that's the first thing. All right, we need to quit assuming shit. Okay. Second thing is, Americans, we've been talking about this for a long time, MJ. We've been talking about term limits for senators. We've been talking about term limits for Congress. And if if you're not doing your job, at bringing stuff down, all that, what happens? You get fired, right? Okay. A lot of people are upset with the VA employees, the firing of that and all that stuff.
Say la Bibi.
People, do you not understand when you have a business and the business is failing and the business is going in debt in Chapter 11? I'm sorry, but the first thing that you have to do is you have to get rid of everybody and you have to start over because they've lost your trust. And veterans, you guys are already bitching about the VA as it is. Sometimes I wonder if veterans just want to bitch to be bitching. Okay, you have to break a few eggs to be able to fix anything. So that's my first thing. Okay, and when it comes to like a political show, if it's a true political show, you have somebody that's liberal or Democrat, and then you have somebody that's conservative or Republican. Okay, there we go. I did two things. That way I don't piss anybody off and put them in the wrong category. Okay. And then you argue about a topic, and then you come up with a resolution before the topic, before the show ends. Unfortunately, in this day and age, there's not very many political shows that are showing the American people how to have an adult conversation. And we're wondering why there's so much mudslinging. We wonder why there's so much if we did away with the dramatics of the political system, I think we would have a little bit more money, because whenever they do shit like take executive orders to Supreme Court, somebody has to pay for that shit. So at the same time we're bitching here about all this stuff happening, your kids are racking up your Amazon cart while you're sleeping, and you're still bitching about it. So, with that being said, I understand the Federal Reserve. Oh, I know, MJ, you're ready to fire. Hold on, I got you. I understand that the Federal Reserve has to be separate, but if the Federal Reserve isn't showing improvement for the economy, and they're just using people's taxes, shouldn't those people that are in that position, shouldn't they be fired? Shouldn't they be replaced? Shouldn't they be audited? Oh, that's right. The IRS or the government hasn't been audited ever until Doge. That's right. Okay. Now, my question to you, MJ, is if people want term limits, is it people want this and they want that? When we give it to them, why is there such an uproar? We saw this. We also saw this with the whole Cracker Barrel thing too.
Okay. That's a lot that you're going to give me 6 minutes. But
yep.
Okay, first of all, we shouldn't. There's a lot of shoulds, and I'm going to remove that from our existence because it's not a demand of anything. It is we the people. When we organize ourselves, the problem exists is that people have been suffering so long. When you suffer as man for so long, the conscious no more becomes positive. It becomes a negative draw.
You get desperate.
That's correct. And every human, we're going to talk human man, right, not male man, but man has made it so that when we reach our apex, we see red, we get angry, and then we go down that rabbit hole and we can't come out. This Federal Reserve, beautiful woman, I have to remind her, she is hired by we the people.
Yeah.
We the people, the majority who voted for Trump. We voted to come out of the nonsense.
Right.
And having I don't know, what was it, 38 trillion? Don't quote me, but it was up there. We were on a verge of bankruptcy. Yes, the Federal Reserves needed to be looked into badly. Right. Yeah. And God bless Doge. However, what you ended up doing is putting a very big crinkle in a lot of deep state, illegitimate and falsified claims that were paid for by Hollywood elites, which is why a lot of them moved out of the country, because they know it was BS. They know they were getting paid by the politicians. But then again, you say we the people, but we the people had to vote that crap in. Yeah. So now we have to understand, people are angry, people are upset. People,
and I think they're just angry because Trump is answering it.
They're losing. Listen, I tell people I didn't vote. I didn't get a chance to vote. I would have voted for Trump, and I make it very clear why. Because what you gave me was going to set us into a bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. So though I don't appreciate our commanders in chief, I respect, but I don't appreciate some of the garbage that comes out of the mouths, right? No. I don't like demands, shoulds. I don't like, being told in a free country. I don't like the imbalance. I don't like it. And I'm not appreciative. But this, sweetheart, like everybody who holds a job, if you don't perform, you get removed. It's very unfortunate. Look at head football coaches. They don't win games, they get removed.
Yeah, she has been in that position for a very long time.
There's very little, right? So one of the major controlling factors is that she is Democrat and she leans Democrat, and it's been proven in her social medias and her outspoken words that she is totally against President Trump and his thing. Just like Mr. Powell, right? Mm-hmm. When you start using your level of authority to dislodge a balance, and you want to cause an imbalance and not flow with the rest of the genres around the world, there's an issue. Yeah. He has every right to remove you from your position at this moment, because every economist out there, I don't care who you watch, you can watch C-SPAN, you can watch CNN, you can watch Fox, you can watch Now, you can watch OAN, you can watch any of them. And the bottom line, literally, folks, is you have been brainwashed and dummied in economics to see that tariffs ain't going to work. Well, that's because when you were somebody else who tried tariffs and didn't have the deal to go with the tariffs, of course it didn't work. Now you have a man who's made a living of the art of the deal. And they even gave him his own TV show, Art of the Deal. He's doing for you what you asked him to do. Right. So you fighting the forward movement of us trying to get out of debt is you're only hindering yours. I see posts, even my own friends and family, man. I see posts and I'm like, oh my God, seriously, climb out of your damn rock. All of this hype right now. And this man, I pity him because there's so many people who have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. It really is true. It really, really is true. And you know what? A lot of economists will even tell you, even finance people, even my broker who I'm trying to do an equity loan right now to do an addition here. And he's like, MJ, he goes, the markets are all over the place. He goes, they're coming down and then they came up. And then he's like, and he goes, and I understand it's the tariffs. I go, yeah, but it's not the tariffs in what you think. It's the tariffs because these other people are not willing to bend. Well, if you're not willing to bend, then you don't need, I'm going to look at India, because being a spiritualist, I do all these different religions. And one of the things that India gives is incense and brass, ornate sculptures. Like every religion, I don't care if you're Christianity, I don't care who you are, most of that comes out of India. They're very high.
You got a minute. Go ahead.
So at that, I'm going to just say, it's man. Flip your pattern in man. Stop being depressed over something when he's a businessman. He's not political, which is why he has stronger tactics. Get over yourself. We asked for this. And so if you ask for it, let it be. And I'm loving that they're coming after Soros, because Soros was on our domestic terrorist back in the 80s, and it's about time they take his ass down. And that will help a lot, because all that money from USAID that went back into his pockets, and some of these deep staters, now you're seeing the true story. People don't believe it, but it's going to come out.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, MJ, thank you for not only agreeing with me, but also, you know, answering my question as well. Everybody, we are going to go on our next music break. It's going to be it's going to be probably two songs because I'm pretty sure we got to make sure to get MoHawk up, because I told him, just do it from your bed, dude. So we're gonna see how professional this interview is gonna be. So we're gonna play a battle buddy of me and MJ's. It's called the Crow Project. What About Us? Listen to the words. Don't take offense, but just think about what he's talking about. It makes sense. So whatever you do, stay with us. You're listening to the H Train Show right here on MBR Talk.
I pledge my allegiance to her, from sea to shining sea. She held her torch to the sky to give the world liberty. What about us? What about we? What about living the American dream? What about love? In God we trust. These are the things they want us all to believe. What about us? What about we? The people. What about us? What about we, the people? The people walk through the streets, holding up protest signs. Try not to repeat our history. Maybe no one will have to die. What about us? What about we? What about living the American dream? And what about hope? Trust God and let go. These are the phrases they want us to believe. What about us? What about we? The people. What about us? What about we, the people? In drinking whiskey on Saturday night. I can't imagine I'm overreacting, she's losing her mind. I met her mama and told her about her problems, how it's happened now a couple of times. And girl, I'm sorry, I'll be gone by the morning, cause you ain't the marrying type. Well, she got away with words and I know it hurts, so Lord, it's protect your pride. And girl, that's the way it works, and we ain't the first ones tricked by the morning light. So we came up, make love, then we take some, stay up, wake up all the neighbors. Yeah, I swore I was done with her, but she's got away with words. Yeah, she's got away with words, and I swore I was done with her, but she's got away with words. I wasn't honest, if I'm being honest, I fed her a couple of lies. And now she's calling me, going on and on about another guy. So I take the bottle off the counter and I pour one. She's the only reason that I always gotta pour up. And ain't it funny that I bought the bottle for us? I'm the only one who's drinking now, baby. Well, she got away with words and I know it hurts. So Lord, it's protect your pride. And girl, that's the way it works, and we ain't the first ones tricked by the morning light. So we came up, make love, then we take some, stay up, wake up all the neighbors. Yeah, I swore I was done with her, but she's got away with words. Yeah, she's got away with words, and I swore I was done with her, but she's got away with words. Yeah, I swore I was done with her, but she's got away with words.
Been 10 years since I'd seen his face. Not much had changed, just a different time, different place. When I shook his hand, I knew something had changed. This was a different man from the one I knew back then. That's when he said, "We do the goals." Yes, I stand in line and watch the flag wave and bright. You see, this is what I do. Yes, I bleed red, white, and blue. He told me the tales of his journeys far away. 3 times gone and land most only see on the front page. With honor and glory, he stood so tall and fought for you and I, so we could be free from it all. That's when he said, "We do the goals." Yes, I stand in line and watch the flag wave and pride. You see, this is what I do. Yes, I bleed red, white, and blue. We do the goals. Yes, I stand in line and watch the flag wave and pride. You see, this is what I do. Yes, I bleed
my scars and my heart and all my pain, yeah, all my pain. Try to keep from going crazy. All I want is to be sane. What I think is made. Crazy is just who I am. I feel my needs will pull you overboard, yeah, overboard. You'll go on your own when you can't take no more. No, you can't take no more. And I try to keep going crazy. And all I want is to be sane. What I think is made. Crazy is just who I am. I'll try, but I might lose the war. Yeah, lose the war. I'm tired, so tired, feeling wrong. Yeah, feeling wrong. 'Cause I try to keep going crazy. All I want is to be sane. What I think is made. Crazy is just who I am.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the AIDS Train Show right here on the station. Let's let our veterans' voices be heard. You know it. You know it. Hey, I'll tell you what, it is that time, everybody. Everybody's been long waiting. You know, I know that we have a special guest coming on when on my feed on LinkedIn. It's a bunch of damn girls liking it, so they're all excited and stuff. Evidently, this guy must be like Casanova. I don't know. You guys tell us. His name is MoHawk. He's a good friend of mine. Me and him have been in the thick and thin for many years. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his story and stuff because he is an artist. He's I consider him a newly artist. He burns wood and makes like art. He actually made and of course all this time I forgot to go get the picture. He did a picture for Brandon Stokely and MJ. The picture is immaculate, but you know I'm sure he has pictures right there. And you know, I don't know. It looks like he's pretty professional. He didn't show up in the bed like I told him he could because, you know, today's his radio day. You know, tomorrow he has to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's interview of the week. My friend, your hero, MoHawk.
The interview of the week
is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Oh, I thought MJ was going to add him.
I failed you.
Oh, wow.
I failed you.
It might help.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, not only is he a friend, but he's a good battle buddy. We have Michael MoHawk Wyatt. Now I gotta ask, first question. I've known you for a long time. I've known you for like 7-8 years, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts. All right, so my question to you is, why the hell do they call you Mohawk? Because, brother, you don't have a mohawk.
Well, if I take this old man bun out and I pop it up, there's a mohawk. But mohawk
that's a mullet. That's a mullet. Not a mohawk.
No, mohawk was my.
It's a mohawk.
It can be. It can be. No, mohawk was my call sign in the military, and it kind of stuck. And one of the units that I was with, the 1st Iowa 1st, the Airborne Infantry Regiment up in Alaska, we were the only unit in the military that was still authorized to wear mohawks under AR 670-1, and actually still authorized to carry tomahawks, even though I couldn't get away with that. But I decided, I think I was an E4 at the time. It's like, well, we're authorized to do it. I'm going to cut a mohawk into my head before one of my deployments to Afghanistan, and kind of stuck since then.
You said it was your call sign. What did you do?
I was an airborne infantryman. I was an airborne infantryman for my time in the military. Yeah.
You have any good stories you want to share?
Oh boy.
Huh?
Not about me.
I mean, I could go on forever.
Only? You man, G audience only.
I could go on forever on those. Really, the culmination of my military career, though, like my last deployment, I did get blown up pretty bad in Iraq.
God bless
Took
you.
5 pieces of shrapnel through the back. I had 2 open heart surgeries. I lost a lung, about 5 foot of intestine. Had a plate put in my face. About 30 surgeries. And so it was a long climb back, but that was kind of the culmination of how my military career ended.
What a sole purpose. Like, seriously, to live through that. I think about that with Joel as well. What a sole purpose that you are now on, and to just be a beautiful warrior and Knight Templar. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Well, so Mohawk, he just, he's been my friend forever, but he just recently started with MBR. He's going to be doing the sports show with the guys in the morning, which he really ignites them. He missed yesterday because he had other plans, but he's going to be there from now on. But I will be. One thing that he brings to the table, and I've told everybody, I've told him, the one thing he brings to the table is, there's certain people that everybody wants to be a host of a show. They all of them want to be a host. All of them want to be a co-host. All of them want to be a part of something. But sometimes there's some people that, are the instigators, like the bad cop, good cop. Okay. And then the one thing that you got to have when you do a show is you got to have somebody that drives. And when I mean drives, they keep you on time. They're not doing the and they're like searching for things. Like they know how to talk. They know how to talk.
Improver.
Right, exactly. And they know how to get the other people talking. And that's one thing that I do like about Mohawk when he's on that show is that like HG is very knowledgeable. Caveman's very knowledgeable. Caveman is kind of soft spoken. But when Mohawk is there and he's kind of driving, he's kind of initiating, Caveman has a louder voice compared to when he's on his own with HG. And I don't know. I mean, they both of them bring a lot to the table, but sometimes it's like, because they don't have that buffer, they don't have the initiator, and that's what makes a good talk show is somebody has to drive it. So that's one of the reasons why MoHawk is a part of the team. And he's been doing a great job, but that's not his only talent, MJ.
I'm excited.
His big talent is, and I'm sure he has some examples, he does wood burnings, So if you have a picture of you and Ozzy, or if, for example, big thing is the table that is in the MBR studio. Everybody knows about the table that I talk about the wood table. The I cry on my donuts table. That kind of shows you the path. Kind of shows you, don't forget where you came from. So MoHawk saw it the other day, and I had talked to somebody about like painting it or doing some kind of art, because it doesn't belong on the floor. It belongs on like the wall, showing people, kind of thing. Hell, we could even, after it did the burning or whatever, at my church a long time ago, we had this wall, and every time that you went and left the youth group and you went to college, on that wall it said, friends who are into Christ are friends forever. And when we graduated, we would sign that wall. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, because once they sign that table after he burns it, and it's going to be, broadcast biker bitches or something. We don't know what we're going to put, but we're going to put something. It's friends forever.
What do you call that? The bitch seat in the back? Is that right?
Right, exactly. You know how it is.
Hey, now, let my scarf fly in that air.
Hey, anytime somebody wants you to pick them up and you just don't feel like it, you tell them, all right, I'm coming on my Harley. I'll pick you up in 5 minutes. That changes their tune real quick. They're like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna go ahead and Uber, because for the life of me, being on the back of a bike with the guy is almost like peeing in the middle urinal in the bathroom. You just don't do it. It's kind of like a unspoken rule. But MoHawk, tell us about your wood burning. Like, how did this come about?
It's interesting, actually. So I've always done art my whole life. Anything artistic, a lot of music and stuff. I've always drawn. I've always painted, but it's always just been for me. Like, it's not something that I've really shared with other people or anything like that. I got into tattooing for a little while.
I was just gonna say, did you draw those tats?
I did draw the designs for them. I didn't actually give myself these, but I did draw the designs for them.
Do you have some of your work by you?
Yeah,
I have some around the corner. I'll grab some here one sec.
Okay,
I'll kind of tell you. So how it kind of came to fruition was, as you know, which is a much longer story, but my life kind of fell apart. You come back to here, the real world, and being a combat veteran, trying to assimilate, spend a lot of time in hospitals and put life together. But then, as a lot of other veterans deal with divorce, because I'm so good at life, I have 2 of them now. So life kind of falls apart a little bit, and I ended up in a place called Valor Point, which I think you're familiar with. It's a VA domiciliary here in Colorado, in Lakewood.
That's where we do the Christmas baskets, MJ.
Yeah. For veterans. Didn't have anywhere else to go. I needed a place to go, and I was struggling, thinking life was pretty bad. And one of the VA art, and I've had a lot of, with the VA, I think, as a lot of veterans have, but that place did really kind of restore my faith in the VA quite a lot. The people there are just absolutely amazing. And one of the people there that I met was the art therapist, and instead of going into basic financial classes or whatever, they were given a lot of them. Like, I'm good there. I talked with the art therapist, and when I was talking with her, she was just kind of getting me to explain kind of like how I'm feeling, like as therapists do. And one of the things that she pointed out that I said was, sometimes I just feel like burning the world to the ground. There's just a fire inside of me, and I just need to get it out, And she'd seen that I'd been doing drawings and stuff, and she was like, well, she's like, you obviously like art, you like drawing. She was like, have you ever actually burned art? And I was like, no, what do you mean? And she was like, well, there's this thing called pyrography or wood burning. And she was like, it's doing the same art that you do, but you can actually burn it into the wood. It's kind of like a soldering iron if most people haven't seen it. And I was like, well, I'll give it a go. And I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. Just working with a different medium. Obviously it's, the smell is like I'm next to a campfire, and that's good. That's cathartic for me. But it was just kind of a different thing that I'd never tried before. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And when I was at Valor Point, they had a construction crew that was like kind of remodeling the building that they were contracting to come in. And I'm sitting out back after, whatever we had going on for the day at Valor Point. I'm sitting out back trying to process and put my mind in a spot that I can figure out what I'm going to be doing with my life. Like, what am I doing? I can't go back into the field I used to work in. I can't jump out of planes and kick indoors anymore. I used to do defense contracting stuff. I can't do that stuff anymore. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm kind of lost. And I'm just out there doing my wood burning, and, minding my own business, doing it for me. And I think I was burning like a Freddy Krueger design or something like that. And, it was about this time last year. And I was like, Halloween's coming up. I was like, I like, who doesn't like horror flicks? So I was like, all right, I'll do some Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. And a couple of the construction guys come out, and they were just kind of watching, and they were just like, that's really awesome. Like complimenting me, which is, who doesn't like getting a compliment, So It was really cool. And so I got to talking with the foreman there, and he was like, he was kind of telling me, he was like, well, do you do like portraits? Like, and I was like, well, I can. And he was like, well, would you? I'll buy it from you. I was like, wait, you'll pay me for this? And he was like, yeah, dude. He's like, but the thing is, he was actually going through a divorce, because he was asking kind of how I ended up where I was at. And he wanted a picture of him with his kids, and he didn't have like an updated one, but he didn't have one of him and his kids. So I was like, you just give me some reference pictures, give me one of you, and then give me one of your kids. And then I can make I'll draw a family portrait of you guys all together, and you can pick whatever background. You can pick whatever background you want. Like if you got, and he was like, and he said Catalina Island. He was like, I got special memories there. He's like, can you do something with Catalina Island and put my kids and me in there? So I was like, yeah, man, no problem. So he's like, well, how much do you want for it? And I was like, well, this piece of wood cost me like $4, so at least that. And he was like, no, man. And I got it done for him. It took me, at that time, I was a little bit slower. It took me about 20 hours of work to get it done. But I was going to do it, and I felt good about helping the guy out, something with his kids and stuff. And he gave me $100. And I was like, bing. Wow. So then I ended up doing pieces for his entire construction crew, like with their family and stuff like that. And so it's kind of just snowballed from there. That's kind of the story of how it started for me. And that was a little over a year ago now.
It almost sounds like the story in the movie Dumb and Dumber, when he's like, well, I thought we were going to talk about all the the consolidated money before we make any purchases. I took care of it. Yep. Oh, Petey. Well, how did you spell Petey? You didn't even have it. Don't worry, Harry. I took care of it. Oh, pretty bird. That's what it reminds me of. So, okay, I didn't mean to. Two things. I didn't mean to go off the rail like that. And so also, I know I'm white, but I don't know if I think it's on my end. Our fire alarm is like going off. It's like doing that chirping thing. So if you hear that chirping thing,
change your battery.
I know. I apologize, but I didn't know if it was mine or MoHawk side. So the next break, I gotta change the battery. So if
MoHawk, I got a lot of questions.
Yeah, shoot, send them.
Yeah. Good. So. First thing, I love it because my father, he was a duck carver for the Ducks Unlimited, and he used to carve ducks. And I remember that smell so well in the house, and it's that basswood smell. And then it was so funny because, you know, you're on 2, I'm on my 3rd marriage. And this guy, Ozzy, he carves, he'll take plates and he'll carve, but it was all fish because we're in the fishing industry. So fish and animals. Sure. He never carved real people, but that smell. And it's so, I always know that just with those 2 people in my family, it was therapy in itself. It always sedated them to a moment. Do you find that as well? It's more sedating and meditative for you?
Very, very much so. And that's not only the smell. I mean, like I said, it's very cathartic. It's very therapeutic for me. It's relaxing. But when I'm doing art, it's the one thing that I've found in life. It just silences everything that's going on up here. You know, like my mind.
Yeah, because they, according to my now husband, he says that, and it's always true. Even my daughter, who she draws, but she doesn't. I mean, she just draws by charcoal pencil. But the only time I see them actually into that artistic mode is when they're either in a negative state of matrix, like they're in a negative state of matrix. Are you able to utilize your art then, and do you find it's more it's a higher, denser art than what you would do on just a normal, happier day?
Oh, absolutely. And that's kind of, I've seen that. That is something that I've kind of reflected on, like the evolution of my art over the last year or so. Definitely when I'm in those kind of darker head spaces and really struggling with whatever's going on. You know, I know everyone's got their own things, but like when I'm doing that, I've noticed that my art there is a lot more depth to it. But that is also something that I try and say. I mean, obviously, I'm always available for commissions, and I'll do like family portraits, or if someone wants a wood burning of a elk drinking water next to a river or something. Okay, I'll do it. But if I'm doing art that I want to do that's just coming from here and here, it's there's going to be emotion in it, and it's going to tell a story. And I try and tell every burn of mine definitely tells a story. So there's a story behind it. And I think that's the most important thing with any kind of art. And that's what makes it valuable, is knowing what that story is.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. So do you find that doing this kind of therapy, the rest of your health balances and aligns within?
I'm working on trying to find that balance. It does level me off and like bring me back, you know, to more center when I'm doing it. Yeah. But I've identified, you know, I do have that personality. Like when I do something, I have a hard time just not going bull in a china shop, full bore. So like I can get into a zone when I'm doing my art. And, you know, a lot of my pieces, like the one that I did for Stokely, I mean, I probably had about 25, 30 hours of work into that one. I can turn around and I've been doing burning for 18 hours. And I'm like, oh, I should probably eat something. And then or if I go on like a zone where I'm like, I'll sleep for a few hours and then I'll get up and do it again or something. And I'm like, man, it's been 4 days, you know, also that whole bachelor life where, you know, like I'm not around a lot of people anymore. Right. I'm just like, I should probably do laundry. You know, I need to adult. So it's trying to find that balance. I try and set a decent schedule for myself now, which helps, and make sure that I'm getting to the gym. And,
do you have any kind of like wood water paints that you put in them? Are they just raw wood burned with lacquer?
Most, and I used to use lacquer for the finish, but usually what I'm using now, what I've noticed works a little bit better for me, is I use like a shellac.
Like a polyurethane.
It is a polyurethane. It's a little bit different than that. It's a little bit more high sheen. It's a little bit thicker, but it comes in different mediums and stuff like that. So, but it is basically a polyurethane lacquer.
What's the largest piece you've ever done?
The largest piece I've ever done would have been a 24 by 36.
Oh, good.
It was a 24 by 36. I had about 200 hours into it. I did it for I actually donated it. It was for a fundraiser for a church. A friend, her church, they were trying to raise money to send some people on a mission trip. So they were having like kind of a silent auction. So I decided to donate a piece of art, and seemed like it's like if you're going to go big on one, you know, like it seemed like a good thing, a good opportunity to take advantage of. But to answer your question about the paints, I've always enjoyed, like I've worked with a lot of different kind of paints, but with wood, what I've noticed I like the most is I use mostly acrylics, but I water them down quite a lot to get the right consistency for the actual basswood. But that's mostly what I'm using now. I've started to get into still acrylic, but a little bit more of a metallic paint on some of the pieces. But yeah, I'd say probably about 10 to 15% of my pieces, I incorporate color into them as well.
That's amazing. So when you're doing this and you finally reach that balance of therapy, does anything trigger you, the smell or like I know in some, when you have to do a deeper burn for shadowing, it will catch on, sometimes the woods will catch on fire. I watch that. Does that make a trigger in your mind at all? Does anything come from post-trauma?
No, like I have not from that in particular. Like I mean, I have my triggers, but that's not one of them. Like the burning smell, you know, if it was other things burning, maybe, but not wood. So it's like that's definitely not triggering for me. It's almost completely cathartic and
beautiful.
Really, really good for my headspace.
Do you start that? And so, like if you become traumatic, is one of your salvations immediately just going to that then? Pretty much. You know, and I've had a couple people that when they realize how much work goes into some of my art, you know, because there'd be some people who knows what I do, but they don't realize like I'm putting 20 to 50 hours into a piece or something like that, you know, because there's like, oh, that's cool, you know, like, can I have it? And I do give a lot of my art away. That's one of my favorite things to do is give art to people that I know are genuine, because I get more out of that than the money. But the money is nice and is necessary to, you know, life. Yeah. But there's like, can I have it? And I'm just like, I literally just spent 50 hours and poured my soul into this piece. No, you can't have it. You can buy it from me, but you can't have it.
I think people look at things different when you show like evidence, like you know how you do like the shorts and videos, like you know, like a tattoo or something. I mean, because think about it, you're gonna get so much money for an autographed football, but if you have a picture of them autographing that football for what's that word called, MoHawk? I can't think of it. The staticity or
like the authenticity.
That's it. That's the word. Ding 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 ding. Good job, MoHawk. So I think when you have something showing that you put in the work, that you did something, I think people, they look at it a little bit differently. They're like, okay, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work, you know?
But he also does art. I don't mean to interrupt you, but every piece he does is an artist proof, because you can't replicate that unless you put it in a laser machine by picture.
That's true.
Right. So
well, and even then, because I do know some people who do laser engravings and stuff on CNC machines. Right. Even then, because they've said, they're like, well, I can do this, but I'm like, if you actually look at mine, you can see all the burn strokes in it. It looks completely different than a laser, and that is something that I've told people. It's just like, you can't buy what I do off Amazon. No. Like, there's not a lot of people who can say that.
No,
like,
Amazon
you cannot buy it.
Right. They need you to create it so they can replicate it. That's why I said that kind of art is just artist proof, period. There's never going to be another one exactly like it, just because of the details and shadowing. And I've known that just because I told you my husband and my father, I watched them do this type of work my whole life. That is so awesome. Honey, can I get your website so that I can put it up for the crowd that they can go?
Yes. Yeah, because we're getting ready to do the time to shine. So we definitely want that. If you can handle that, MJ, I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. You can contact me, like they can see all my work on Instagram, which is just MoHawk Wyatt Creations, or my TikTok page, which is also MoHawk Wyatt Creations.
WYATT?
WYATT?
Creations. Okay,
Correct.
and it's at Instagram, and just put Instagram and I'll put an @. Okay.
Yep. So you can find all my work there, and there's videos for almost every piece. And then if anyone ever wants to contact me, I mean, my number's on business cards, but mohawkwyatt.creations@gmail. You can email me. If anyone ever sees any pieces that they like that I've done, everything I do is always for sale. Well, 99% of what I do. Sometimes I fall in love with the piece and I keep it for myself. Which just happened the other day. It's not often, but like sometimes you made a banger when you make one and you're just like, nope, this is going on my wall. I made this for me. And when you fall in love with it, it just happened again. It was the first time in a while. It just happened again the other day. But if anyone ever wants to talk about anything in particular that would be meaningful to them that they want me to do, I'm always open. I love being challenged.
You draw just for tattoos as well?
I do. That's something I've been working on recently, because I've had a lot of people, because I'm not a traditionally trained wood burning artist. How I burn is the same way I would tattoo. So I tell people, like, I tattoo on wood. That's what I do. Right. So I've had a lot of people ask, they're like, hey, can you draw me a design for tattoo? And like, I really like this. Like, can you draw this for me? And I'm just like, I can. It's not really what I do. But I've had so many people ask me that, because I do have a very distinct style that parlays real well into tattoos. No matter if it's a light, dark, like whatever it is, like. So something I've been working on, and I'm starting to release. I've got one book released so far, but I'm taking a lot of my designs and then I'm putting them into an actual like tattoo design book. Nice. And then people can purchase those, and for like $15 and get 40 of my drawings or whatever. It won't be on the wood burning, but that way I can always have those, and then they can just take the book into whoever's doing their tattoo and be like, hey, I want this. Boom, done. So,
no, I haven't seen any of your work, but is it?
We're getting ready to. We have 1 minute, and this is that time where we have to do the time to shine. MoHawk, the time to shine, and we have some great stuff to show this time.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, veterans and first responders. Runs on Dunkin'.
And Wyatt, there he is. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, what we're seeing is we're seeing Wyatt's work of art. That's Wyatt's girlfriend. No, I'm teasing.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like, Wyatt, dude, what's your
X?
name?
X. She left me too.
That's Rosie. She belongs there.
Oh,
Rosie.
well. Oh man, all right. So this is just some of his works, and we're gonna make it possible there at the Colorado studio. We're gonna put some of his works in the studio, and people that come in, when they look at it and they appreciate it, we'll put like the amount and stuff on behind it, so that we can kind of help him out in that way. You can also find MoHawk's work at the VFW Post 1, also right off of Colfax as well. Now, maybe I didn't ask you to set up you up for the right question or the right answer. This is your 1 minute, unfortunately. This is your 1 minute to kind of push or kind of say whatever you would like to say that we didn't ask you.
Okay. I would say the thing that I would like to get everyone to realize is something that it took me a while, because I was I've spent my whole life, I was playing football. I was always an athlete. I was a musician. I was always riding motorcycles, jumping out of planes, high level competitive skiing, like that's what I identified myself as. So like when I started doing this, that's why I kept my art to myself, because I'm just like, oh man, nerds do art. It's like, I enjoy it. I love it, but like nerds do art. But it's me. It's me. It's what I do. It's what I love. And that's the biggest lesson that I would say that I've learned throughout all this is like, whatever it is that you love, just own it, do it, go hard with it, and be unapologetically you. And it's the way that you can, it's humbling at first, but I think that's the biggest lesson. That ego death needed to happen for me. And that was kind of what my process was that ego death needed to die. Mm-hmm. And it helps you stay humble. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would want to let everybody know.
Good for you.
Well, brother, I tell you what, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. And MJ, I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you had a lot of questions. We're running out of time. We have to play this tribute to Troop, but one of these days, MJ, when you make it to Denver, you'll be able to meet and you'll be able to.
You got my contact information. You can hit me up anytime. I'd love to talk more about this. So you can hit me up anytime.
I just might have you on my show, MoHawk.
I would love to. I'd be honored.
Dive in and see those balances, because it's really hard for somebody to rid ego and judgment, and I get it. And it's very difficult. Good for you. So proud of you. So proud.
Thank you. And thank you, Joel. Like, I appreciate it. It's nothing but love and respect for you, brother.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Course, brother. Of course, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. And everybody else, you're listening to the Exchange Show right here on the station that's giving our veterans a voice. You're listening to MBR. Tribute to the Troop is next. And when we come back, it's that time again. It is Final Thoughts. Stay tuned.
Detail attention.
First call. The service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call. The name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call. The name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I don't know how to tell this story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Judge Frank Caprio, age 88. Judge Caprio was born on Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island on November 24, 1936, to Italian immigrant parents Antonio and Filomena Caprio. Caprio attended Providence Public Schools while working as a dishwasher and a shoe shiner. He graduated from Central High School, where he won the state title in wrestling in 1953. He joined the Rhode Island Army National Guard, serving from 1954 until 1962 in the 876 Combat Engineer Battalion. He was assigned to Camp Barnum in Narragansett, Rhode Island, and Fort Indiantown Gap in East Hanover Township, Pennsylvania. Caprio earned a bachelor's degree in 1958 from Providence College. In 1962, at age 25, he won an upset victory by defeating the long-serving Providence City Council president. He remained active in politics throughout his life on the local, state, and national level, mentoring and helping candidates and elected officials. After graduating, he began teaching American government at Hope High School in Providence. While teaching at Hope, Caprio attended night school at Suffolk University School of Law in Boston, earning his law degree in 1965. Frank was recommended to serve as judge on the Providence Municipal Court by Mayor Joseph Paulino Jr. in 1985. He served on the bench for 38 years. His courtroom gained global fame through the 4-time Emmy-nominated television show Caught in Providence. The program was the brainchild of his wife Joyce and his brother Joseph. Filming court sessions began in 1992 and proceedings aired on Rhode Island Public Access Cable TV and ABC 6 until 2016, when the program became nationally syndicated on over 200 stations. Judge Caprio's sincere compassion and humanity led him to becoming known as the nicest judge in the world, amassing over 26 million social media followers, more than 10 billion video views. In February 2025, at age 88, he published a best-selling memoir, Compassion in the Courtroom, Life-Changing Stories from America's Nicest Judge. His national publicity tour included sold-out book signings and major media appearances. He also was sought after for speaking engagements at legal and humanitarian events worldwide, including most recently in Italy, United Emirates, Arab Emirates, and as the recipient of Mother Teresa Award for Social Justice in India. In May of 2025, he gave the commencement address at Providence College, earning a standing ovation for his message of leaving the ladder down to help others rise. Judge Frank Caprio died August 20th, 2025, after fighting pancreatic cancer at the age of 88. Judge Caprio leaves his wife of 62 years, Joyce, 5 children, 7 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, and his brother Joseph. We here at NBR would like to thank you, Judge Frank Caprio, for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage. Our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed.
Belly tail, pinted. Ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down to hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars that shine. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars that shine. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars that shine. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
It's the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. What we learned today.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
At Project ML, gratitude. Our mission is simple, to give motorcycles to veterans who need the kind of peace and freedom that only a ride can give.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we want to, say a huge thank you to MoHawk for joining us and talking about his talent, and the biggest thing out of that I learned, that I keep on learning, is there's so many, MJ, there's so many outlets out there for veterans. And I was going to say, when you guys was talking about the burning and the smell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a different smell if you burn wood that has been peed on. And that burning sensation, that smell, now that sends me into a flashback if I ever have that. So you guys didn't really talk about that, and that I wanted to bring that. Hey, how are you? Red Skeleton is watching today. Remember, if you haven't got the, I believe there's still time. You can watch MBR on the cruise November 9th. We have a MBR cruise, a veteran cruise. So if you're interested in that chat right there, J. Kent Skeleton, make sure that you message him, and there you go. Jet Fuel messes me up. Yeah, exactly. All right, MJ, there's several times that I cut you off today, and I'm so sorry about that. I just want to.
I think it's divine purpose.
Well, still, what did you learn today? My battle.
I learned that we all go through emotional states, and instead of getting angry, find help, find alignment, find balance, twist it around. MoHawk brought it all to fruition. Get rid of all egoic and judgment upon
Right.
what you've learned in man's conditional patterns and flip it to a more conscious positive, and then it creates an abundance for you, whatever that abundance is, whether it's happiness, joy, wealth, prosperity, easier living, kindness, whatever that abundance is for you.
Right. And with that being said, because I gotta go work and teach and do my other job now. We gotta call it. We can't extend this any. So whatever you do, remember every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Ace Train Show is here. And if you would like to be a guest on the Ace Train Show, send us a message right on the website. Go to mbradio.us, look at our page, look on our calendar, MBR Talk, schedule a guest appearance from there. With that being said, remember, we're here for you, not for us. And we all said, giving our veterans a voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.